Hello everybody, I'm here to do the eclipse reading. So the full moon eclipse is tomorrow. It's in Pisces. It's in the sign of Pisces, but it's at 12:12 a.m., which is unique in of it itself. So if you feel called to that synchronicity the way that I do in the numerology sense, maybe look into that. So choose A or B, whichever you're feeling called to. I'm going to do my Rune Oracle deck as the first cards, and then pull tarot, and then at the end I'm going to do a Gateway of Light activation. So the energy today is like really weird, almost like a dream state. I feel like everything is kind of slow, and I feel like it's been like that for the past like week, but especially today things feel like movements are meant to be more intentional. Leading up to this, dreams have been dreaming. I've been hearing from a lot of people who don't normally dream are having dreams, and then of course they've been really intense. They've been really weird. The veil is very thin right now. As we get closer to words, brain not braining, Samhain, Samhain, however you want to, Halloween, All Hallows Eve, when the veil gets its thinnest. But this Piscean energy of the eclipse is also bringing in that weird veil thinning energy. So we're seeing a lot of people leaving the earth plane, and also a lot of stuff going on in the astral. So Pisces, shockingly enough, rules the dreams, rules intuition, you know, the things of mystery and mysticism and all of that. So not all that shocking that those things are going on, because that is right in the ballpark of Pisces and what it does. So I'm feeling like we need to really get grounded. I know I've been saying that for the past couple weeks as well, which I feel like the runes are very like earth magic, and I feel like that's why I'm being called to use my Rune Oracle deck. I usually leave it at the office. When I was there yesterday, I was called to take those home so I could read with them, and I feel like it's because it's the anchor, to anchor us into that grounding energy because of this Piscean, you know, frou-frou headspace energy. All right, so let me know in the comments if you choose A or B. So for A's, you got Ansus, if I'm saying that correctly. This is Odin's symbol, and Odin is the representation of wisdom and sight and, you know, like inner guidance and sight. So a little history of Odin. He basically he gave up his physical sight for his for spiritual sight to Freya, actually. for 9 days. So the number 9, and the number 9 is actually of completion. So something that's really coming up during this eclipse season is basically last eclipse season, which was on September 7th of 2025. What changes in or around that time did you make? Because this eclipse is like closing out that chapter of something that you started is now coming to an end. It may be a literal physical change that you have made, leaving a relationship, leaving a job, changing location, whatever it may be, or it could be a mental one, you know, a decision that you made, or a way of something, like an insight that you got that is a way of thinking that you have, that has shifted inside of you. So the actual card says a revealing message or insight, communication, signals, inspiration, enthusiasm, speech, true vision, power of words, and naming, blessings, the taking of advice. So I feel like this is, if you chose A's, your inner insight, you know, the messages that are coming through you. I'm feeling lots of like crown chakra and third eye connection here. So what is it that is coming through those for you? It's not an outward message, it is an inner message. So you got the Fool as the first card, and I'm paying a lot of attention here to the purple. That just reminds me of the crown chakra. So I feel like for A's, you're kind of being asked to, like, what chapter is closing for you, and what does that mean for you next? What is the door that you're closing? What door is that opening? So you got the King of Pentacles. So I feel like it's, so basically eclipse energy, there is the opposite axis, which is the Virgo. Virgo is the opposite of Pisces. It is of the physical, it is of the home, the hearth, you know, what you do on the day-to-day. And I feel like you are being asked to do things differently, like focusing less on what you do on the day-to-day and more on what it is that your intuition is trying to tell you. So I feel like if you chose A, you're at a threshold of, first it's here and then it will be here in the physical, which is where the King of Pentacles is coming into play. I feel like it's, what's the word I'm looking for? When you basically, when you remain focused in your brain or in your head space and in your thoughts, what it will become that in the physical, in the sense that the shift isn't going to happen until you shift the mindset. So if you feel like you're struggling or something isn't working out right, maybe the way that you're doing things isn't working. And that isn't going to change until you realize it, until you think about it, and then think about a different way in which you can go about something. So let me pull a couple more cards. Okay. So you got the sun. I feel like this is like a revelation of what is to come. I feel like for the next 2 weeks, as this eclipse season closes out, your inner voice is something that you really need to pay attention to. If you've been ignoring it or pushing it away, like, I'm seeing, like, for A's, there's been a lot of, like, go, 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 and you're being asked to slow down and to look at it differently. You got the Two of Cups. I feel like this is, like, what fills your cup? I feel like if you chose A, you are always pouring into other people's cups without pouring into your own, or maybe you pour into theirs first and then you just give yourself the leftovers. But you're being asked to do this differently, in the sense that you should pour into your cup, your own cup first, and then the overflow, right? Because you can't pour from an empty cup. And if you keep draining yours, you know, your energy outward and leaving nothing else for yourself, you're draining yourself. You're draining your own energy, and you're leaving yourself bone dry with nothing else. I feel like this Two of Cups is like the giving and receiving of that energy. Are you pouring into things that are pouring into you? Are you giving where you're receiving back? Or are you just giving, right? Because you also got death and rebirth, which is not only the theme of the eclipse, but I feel like specifically for you A's, is like this whole message here is saying, like, things aren't working the way that you're doing them. And maybe you have begun a new path this year, from last eclipse to this eclipse. Some sort of change has happened, and you needed that change to get the ball rolling. But I feel strongly like now things need to shift again to come to a closing. Lots of change has happened over the past year for all of us, and I feel like I'm seeing the proverbial or the metaphorical shelf. And I feel like if you chose A, you have been putting things on the shelf, right? Or like the back burner. You've been putting things on the back burner. And it's all for you, right? It's your health or your wellness. It's your happiness, your joy, your peace, the things that light you up, your passion. Those things have been put to the side, whether it's because you've needed you to be in survival mode, or because you've put yourself there. You are like if you chose A, you're extending, or you have been extending your energy outward. And you need to bring it back home to yourself. And this really stands out. Get grounded, get anchored into the messages that you need to see, that you need to receive through yourself, through your own meditation, through your own self-care. These are all really great cards to get. And I feel like this sun card, the way that the sun is literally beaming into her with that ray, is like, you've been living underneath the clouds for so long, just trying to survive. now it's your turn, your chapter to start living, to actually start living and start being who you are and what is going to bring you happiness and your own passion. You need to pour into yourself if you chose A. I'm going to pull a Gateway of Light activation card to bring this to a close. You got Thoth light codes, light initiation, great teacher, awakening, divine magic, which is funny because there's lots of light here. So for A's, I feel like you have put your own needs off for far too long, and now it is time to do things for yourself again. Whether that be you need to start listening to yourself and your intuition, whether that be you need to start putting your health and wellness first, if you need to take care of yourself. This whole thing is like this eclipse, this energy here is an initiation in and of itself. All right, let's move on to B's. So for B's, you got Gibo. And Gibo is the, hang on a second, I just want to cut cords from A's, so I'm not channeling anything from them. Moving on to B's. So Gibo is, it's funny because it's kind of like what I was just saying about A's, but it's like an exchange. It's the what you give and what you get back. Gifts, both in the sense of sacrifice and of generosity, indicating balance. All matters in relation to exchanges, including contracts, personal relationships, and partnerships. I feel like the messages here are similar, but not the same, in the sense that for B's, you're also being asked to, where are you sacrificing yourself? Where are you putting your energy out and not receiving anything in return? Something there needs to change, because you've got the Five of Pentacles. I feel like you are tired. You are done. Whatever it is, like if you chose B's, I feel like you, like for A's, I felt as though they had some left over for themselves and were still kind of trekking themselves along in survival mode, whereas B's, I feel like you are done. You are bone dry. You have continuously sacrificed and poured yourself into whatever it is, and you're not getting anything in return. And that's why you're here. I feel like there's the, what's the point? The, why am I continuing this? Why am I going on with this when I am tired and my energy is spent and I have nothing to show for it? Because the Five of Pentacles is like the poverty card. So where are you in poverty? And that doesn't have to literally mean, home or finances. That could be, in anything. Spiritually, mentally, relationship-wise. You got the Empress. Something is trying to birth itself into your experience, but I feel like it cannot, because you cannot manifest from a place of you cannot manifest from a place of poverty. You know, where is there poverty in your life? Because whatever is trying to be birthed through you, whatever you are trying to create, is being blocked because of that. Let's pull a couple more. Alright. You got the Wheel. And the Knight of Swords. I feel like something needs to shift. I feel like your focus on what isn't working, and it's okay to feel down, you know, when you've put a lot of effort into something, when you have, you know, spent energy, money, time, you know, all of that into something, and nothing is showing for it. It gets tiring, and it's okay to be like, to feel like, what the fuck, man, you know? We all have those moments. I feel like it's time to put that to rest, to walk away from that isn't working, and shift your focus. So I feel like for bees, like, you're stuck there. Like, you're stuck in the, well, it's not working, so it's not working, so what's the point? And I feel like every little piece of or part of something that doesn't work out for you is just another piece of evidence that goes into that. Like, see, it's not working, right? And that brings in more things that aren't working, is what I'm feeling. So it's, for yours, it's more of like a mindset. Maybe flip the script. Look at, well, what is working, right? Where are the things that are being reflect back to you? So I'm going to use an example. Say things aren't working out in a relationship with someone, and I mean that not in a sexual relationship or romantic relationship. I mean that in a give and take relationship, the exchange between one person and the other. And you have, we'll say friendships, right? So let's say you have a friendship with someone and it's not working, and every little piece of evidence that goes into it, you're like, oh, well, see, that's not working. See, it's not working. But you're not focusing on the other friendships where it's being poured into you, where there is the exchange, where there is the equal, what you put into it, you get back, right? You're focusing on what isn't. I feel like you got to cut ties with that for you to create, for this to come in, for this creation of, maybe it's a better relationship. Maybe it's a better friendship that's trying to birth itself into your vision, into your life, right? Because you got the Wheel of Fortune, which is, it's like, the Wheel of Fortune is good luck, you know? Things, anything can happen. Good things can happen. And the Knight of Swords is like running high speed towards basically running full steam ahead towards, we'll say, your goals, right? So let's say you're focusing on the lack of what you have in this said friendship, but this friendship that would light you up, that would be a positive exchange, that would be for your highest and best, that would that would bring the sunshine back into your life, right? It would be a positive give and take, a gift, if you will. Cannot show itself while you're into your life, while you're still focusing on what isn't working. All right, let me pull one more for bees. And that's just an example. It could be anything. It could be a job. It could be literally anything. This is a collective message, so for whatever is speaking to you in this moment, whatever it is that you think of, the first thing that popped in your head when I started speaking, that's the thing. Don't overthink it. So you got Judgment. I feel like this is releasing, sorry, I got my lemon balm here. Releasing self-judgment. I feel like it's like a full spiritual, full body, energetic release that you need to make to let go of this thing that is just stealing your energy, that's just taking your energy and dragging you down with it. If you chose B, like I'm seeing, like you need to cut the cord with whatever that is. The friendship, the relationship, the job, the path, whatever it is. And release your own self-judgment on, we'll use family as an example, because those are some of the hardest relationships to release. Because as humans, we think, oh, well, we're blood related, so that must mean that we have to stick out all of their bullshit, which isn't true at all. Maybe you have some sort of self-judgment about releasing or cutting ties with family or family members because of the exchange isn't there. It's draining you, right? But you don't want to let it go. I feel like you're not allowing yourself to let it go because of how you think you should feel about it, or how it will look from someone else's perspective. But who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares how it looks from somebody else's perspective if it doesn't feel right in you, right? So if you were to continue on this path of keeping this thing alive that doesn't bring you anything, that doesn't feed into you, your balance beam is off. You're going to remain stuck there and miserable and unhappy. When if you shift to the other side, right? Think about what your life would look like if you cut ties with that and you moved forward, regardless of your own self-judgment or anybody else's judgment on the matter. What would your life look like with more positivity in it, with more things that are for you, with more receiving of what you give, with more balance, right? Let's pull a Gateway of Light activation. Whoop. You got Stellar Gateway activation. Infinite potential, manifestation vortex. Something you're trying to manifest, as I said before, is like right the fuck there. But it cannot come into your experience and your existence while you're hanging on to the past, while you're hanging on to things that are no longer meant for you, that are just draining you dry. So that's the reading. I feel like this full moon and eclipse in Pisces, listen to your dreams, listen to your intuition. What are you being asked, whether you chose A or B, where are you being asked to let go? What are you being called to release? what changes are being asked of you to make. Because in both instances, the new path cannot reveal itself while you're still walking with your head down the old path. It's time to look up. So if you have any questions, feel free to message me. If you would like a reading of your own, you may book with me or message me to do so. And I hope you enjoyed the reading, and let me know in the comments if it resonates with you. Like and share and all that good shit. To bump me up, bitches, on this stupid thing we call the internet, man, because a girl be struggling out there. All right, I will catch you guys next time. I hope this eclipse season is easy on you. Take care of yourself, you know, have a cup of tea, go for a walk in the woods, meditate, float in a stream or something, you know, whatever you are being called to do to rejuvenate yourself, to pour back into your own cup. Fucking do it, because now is the time. All right, I'll catch you guys next time.